something that it is useful for you to understand at the very beginning is just how an agility page is laid out. And essentially, agility has this grid system where every agility template, every agility page is laid out in a grid format. That grid format is composed of both horizontal divisions and vertical divisions. So the agility has 5 main horizontal divisions that I call areas. And these horizontal divisions span the entire width of the browser window, which allows you to put a style in them that spans the whole width of the browser window. And each primary horizontal division contains one primary vertical division, which is the thing that gives it the page its width. Okay, so let's go back. The primary horizontal divisions I call areas. So if you are looking at in your skin editor, if you're looking at the HTML in your skin editor, you see header area, top menu area, content area, top footer area, and bottom footer area. These are those areas. Inside of each of those areas is that primary vertical division called area page. So header area page, top menu area page, content area page, top footer area page, and bottom footer area page. That's what produces the definition of the width of the page. And each one of those area pages are inside of their respective area. So primary vertical division, and it's called an area page. That area page is centered in the browser window. Okay, so each typical primary vertical division contains one or more secondary vertical divisions, which I refer to as columns. Right? So you've got this is the header area. In the header area, you've got a header area page. Inside the header area page, there is a header with 2 columns, right? A 1/3 width column and a 2/3 width column. If we look inside of the content area, it's got 2 columns, a 2/3 column and a 1/3 column. And if you look inside the skin editor, and we just open up, say, the content area page, you can see we've got, let's just close these other boxes for a second here. It's got a main content column and a main sidebar. Okay, those are the 2 columns that sit inside of the content area page. And every piece of agility is built that way. So it's got the header area page, header, column 1, column 2, or column 1, 2, 3, 4, or column 1, 2. They're all that way. And the column widths are set up as a percentage of the width of the page. So by default, the left header column is 1/3 of the width of the page, and the right column is 2/3. By default, the main content column is 2/3 of the width of the page, and the sidebar is 1/3. By default, the footer widgets are each 1/4 of the width of the page, and then the bottom footer is divided into 2 columns that are half the width of the page. So we've got these column widths that are 1/4, 1/3, 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, and full column. Okay, and the combination of each of these columns has to always equal 1. So if you're messing around with the columns, you can't have a 2/3 column and a half column. It's not going to render correctly. Okay. Sean asks, can the width of the page be changed? No, it cannot. These are specifically designed to be these are all a fixed width, essentially. They're not actually fixed width, they're flexible width. If you're going to write your own code, if you're going to write your own CSS, yes, you could customize all this stuff, but it's a bunch of CSS you have to write. And if you look at the 3rd seminar, which is actually already published, that is customizing templates in Agility, you'll learn why we can't, why the widths are not definable beyond 1/3 and 2/3, and the benefits of having that system in place. So each primary vertical division is called the area page. It's centered on the browser window, and the page width is 1032 pixels wide. That's how wide that is. Now, the column widths are made up of content space plus padding. And so if we look at this 2/3 column here, it's got 13 pixels of padding on one side. The column itself is 647 pixels wide, and the interior column, or the interior padding, is 26 pixels wide, which ultimately creates the 2/3 column. However, what you're going to think about it is the 2/3 column is 647 pixels wide. You don't have to worry about the padding, because the padding is managed by itself. But when you're thinking about how wide your content area is, it's 647 pixels. Same thing is true with the sidebar. You've got 13 pixels of padding on either side of it, and the sidebar itself is 320 pixels, which equals a 1/3 column. Add those all together and you've got 1032 pixels. So your column widths look like this. A full column is 980 pixels wide with 52 pixels of padding, 26 on either side. A 1/4 column is 232 pixels wide and 26 pixels of padding on either side. Or total, it's 13 pixels on either side. A 1/3 column is 320 pixels wide with 13 pixels on either side. A half column is 490. A 2/3 column is 647, and a 3/4 column is 735. So to the extent that you want to know how wide things are, to that extent, that's how wide they are. And you'll find this all in the cheat sheets. Okay, that's how that's an overview of how the pages are laid out and all the pieces of the pages. So if you ask a question and I say, well, yeah, that's in the top footer area, you know what that is. That's this section right here.